what kept men like the Duryea brothers from reaching the historical fame earned by guys like Henry Ford? Well, for starters, Ford built and sold several early models of his car to finance his attempts to improve what he'd already built. This pursuit of perfection, along with his interest in race testing his cars, ruined some early business partners. As a result, the Henry Ford Company split ways with the man that gave them their name and formed the Cadillac Motor Company. Henry regrouped and formed the Ford Motor Company. But Ford would need more than a great car to make his new company exponentially profitable. After all, the first Model Ts took approximately 728 minutes to make. This drove up the cost of production, making the car less affordable. The price point was a hard pill to swallow for a man determined to bring the automobile to the masses. Ford's victory in court against George Selden's automobile patent eliminated royalty costs for early manufacturers, but he'd still need to lower his prices, and to do that, he'd need to make more cars in less time. Out of this necessity, the assembly line was born. Ford cut his production time from a single Model T from 728 minutes to just over 93 minutes. As a result, Ford Motor Company flourished, more cars were made, prices were lowered, and more cars were sold. Of course, as is the way of capitalism, his colossal rise was met with inevitable competition. In 1908, William Durant spent a whopping $2,000 to incorporate General Motors in New Jersey. By 1915, his Buick was the strongest car in his line. Much of Buick's success can be attributed to a man named Walter P. Chrysler, who brought the same assembly line approach to manufacturing Buicks. Durant would eventually appoint Chrysler as the president of Buick after his leadership tripled Buick production and created one of the strongest car names in the market. Around the same time, Ranson Eli Olds was enjoying his own level of success as vice president of Olds Motor Works. Although Olds is a major name in the establishment of the U.S. car industry, it was a pair of mechanics, brothers, that ran Olds' machine shop for several years who made equally significant contributions to the brand's success. As a result, when a 10% stake in Henry Ford's up-and-coming Ford Motor Company was offered to these men, they took the risk, and it paid off in millions of dollars in profit. With this newfound wealth, the Dodge brothers eventually branched off and started their own company, building and selling their Dodge automobiles. Eventually, they sold their company to Chrysler, who by this time had split with Durant and Buick. All of these three developments culminated in forming what we now know as the Big Three. Ford, GM, and Chrysler became the three pillars of the American automotive industry and remain the three largest domestic manufacturers to this day.